Today's video is all about answering your questions. All of you amazing subscribers here on my channel. Once a week, give or take a few, I have been sharing content here at Simply Living It related to homeschooling, motherhood, lifestyle encouragement, different things that I feel encouraged to share with you guys. So today, in honor of celebrating 5 years here on YouTube, sharing our content with you guys, I want to just take some time to answer some of your questions. I want to just devote some time to those questions. So that's what today's video is all about. Grab something yummy to sip on, get comfy, put in your earbuds while you're cleaning, going about your business for the day, whatever your day looks like. Maybe you happen to be driving down the road and you can put this on and listen to something encouraging. Maybe, hopefully this will be of encouragement to you. And it is not a surprise to me. Most of the questions have to do with homeschooling, parenting, and a little bit of curriculum type stuff in there as well. So buckle up, if you will, for a special upload where I'm answering your questions. If you have any more questions, leave them below in the comment section because I would love to do a part 2 on this. There are way more questions than I can get through in part 1. Let's get started. So first question, and you can see these all for yourselves on my community post, but where do you live? And have you always lived? It's so beautiful where you are. Well, first of all, I live in Idaho, and yes, born and raised here. This is our family roots. We are here, always have been. I have not traveled far from where I went to school and graduated and went to college and all the things. And the same is for my husband as well. We are all kind of within a very close radius, which is wonderful. Always lived here, yes. How did you teach your boys to read? My 6-year-old is having a hard time with reading. Okay, when it comes to teaching our boys to read, that seems like such a long time ago, but I'm gonna go back in my memory to that. I know we used with my oldest the Abeka homeschool curriculum. He was the very first one that I obviously began homeschooling, and I was new to all of it. He did do 2 years of preschool. Actually, all my boys did. All my boys did 2 years of preschool. My oldest did 2 years of preschool outside of our home because at that point I didn't know I was going to homeschool. This wasn't like our plan or vision, right? And so then we brought him home, and from there on out, we did 2 years of preschool with each of our boys. And then we started with Abeka, their homeschool curriculum with my oldest, and then we used All About Reading. I love All About Reading. We did that with all 3 of our boys and had great success with it. Next question, what are some self-care things that you love to do for yourself? Self-care. I don't know that I really have a ton of self-care things. Like, to me, a form of self-care for me, which I know this probably isn't what you're asking, but I love spending time with my husband, like undistracted, uninterrupted time with my husband. I do love to journal. I love to sit in the mornings, read my Bible, listen to something encouraging, and journal. I love to read on the porch at the cabin. I love to work out. I do enjoy working out. So whether it's lifting light weights, whether it's doing some simple cardio, going for a run, usually my boys are on their bikes and they will go ahead of me and I will run behind them. We have a lap that we like to do around here. So self-care looks different in every season, and I don't have a ton of crazy things. Even sometimes it's as simple as just taking a nice bath. Like, going in the bathroom and being alone for 30 minutes in the tub is one of my favorite things to do. So next question, boys. How important is keeping school efficient to allow for plenty of outside time, sports, etc.? How do you keep yourself accountable to cutting off the school day to prioritize those things if you do? So first part of the question, how important is keeping school efficient to allow for plenty of outside time and sports? I think that looks different for every household. So that's really hard for me to answer that one just because it is so determining. There are so many variables to that. But we do, at this point in time in our homeschool journey, have a section of time that is school. We just know until about noon, sometimes 1 every day, we're doing school. That's just the way it is, except Fridays. We don't do Friday school at this point in time. I think we may be adding it back in just to keep kind of on track, but I think that depends on the home. There are a lot of people who unschool and it's great, and there are a lot of people who have structure and it works great. I think it's just what works best for your family, for your home, for your child even, because some kids they need more of that structure and some can be loose and flowy and free. So I that's hard for me to say. For us personally, it is important to keep that structure, because otherwise we start to kind of fall off and we're like, okay, you get a lot of the questions like, what are we doing today? What's happening today? What's going on? Well, that structure and that routine kind of sets your kids up, my kids up, to know each day, like, hey, we're doing school until this time. Like, nothing's happening between now and 1 o'clock, and then my oldest leaves for work, and then the extra things will come in. I think it is important, but I also think allowing that freedom and flexibility, right? That's why we homeschool. That's the beauty in homeschool. Sports, we don't really have a ton of sports that interfere with anything. And if we did, it would be summer sports. So that's not a huge thing for us necessarily. Keeping myself accountable to cutting off the school day to prioritize other things, that honestly is a needed basis. If something comes up that is in the middle of our school day, then we determine whether it's something we want to say yes to, whether it's something we want to say no to. I've heard recently, and at a homeschool convention also, we hear a lot about like fear of missing out, right? Well, there's this new like acronym for that, which is JOMO, the joy of missing out. So is this something that we can say no to and kind of be okay with? Or is this something that this is a yes this time? Let's say yes to this. So making those decisions and like analyzing that for your own home and your family, I think is great. Okay, hey there, love your channel. I have 2 boys, ages 12 and 15. What's your favorite devotional or Bible study for busy moms? Also, would love to know your skincare makeup routine. Okay, skincare makeup routine, I'm not very good with that, just gonna be honest. I do have all these products sitting right here because Rowe Casa is my favorite for skincare, all the things, beauty, health, home, and I'll share more about that because there's another question also. I love the anti-blemish face wash from Rowe Casa. I really do like that. They also have a toner that I just recently purchased. I don't really have a fancy skincare makeup routine. I wish I had something amazing to share with you that I do all the time and I can promise no wrinkles and all that. No, I got nothing. I got nothing on that. So my favorite devotional right now, I love the Take and Read podcast. I'll link it down below. I've talked about it before. I love it because instead of it being a devotional that I go to and I'm reading a devotional and kind of sinking into that, I'm actually reading my Bible. I open my Bible up, I sit and I read through my Bible, and this small little chunk that we might happen to be going through, and I've gone all the way back, we're working through Mark very slowly. I went all the way back to the beginning of this podcast and started just going through each episode. And I know there are more current podcasts than where I'm at, but I love going like sequentially through it instead of just picking whatever the most recent upload is. So for right now in my season of life, it's the Take and Read podcast. And sometimes they have a lot of like getting caught up on life in the middle. So I will go in like 10 or 15 minutes so that I can get it in, because maybe I'm looking just for the devotional part and not so much the small talk kind of stuff, which I do love. I love that they do that if I have time to allow for that. But a lot of times I love to just go straight to the nuggets where they start getting straight into God's word. And that has been so pivotal for me, because it's actually, I'm reading God's word and then we're kind of analyzing it a little bit. And it takes me back to a season of life that I have with a very dear friend, my spiritual mama, we will call her. She, I guess discipled me. I guess I will just say discipled me. Loved on me, encouraged me. Every Wednesday we would sit for 2 to 3 hours and just open God's word and talk about what it says, and things that didn't make sense. I could write down questions and she would help me decipher what it meant. And that was some of the most precious time in my entire life that I will never forget. And some of my greatest memories are sitting on her couch in her home while my kids are outside playing in the dirt, maybe helping with some chores that she needed done, or helping, playing with the neighbor kids. That time was so sweet to me. And I think that's why I love the Take and Read podcast so much, because while it is not with my friend, I am sitting and it's actually God's, like we're diving into God's word. Not that a devotional isn't, but it's in my Bible. So any notes or anything that comes to my mind, I'm actually writing in my Bible next to that verse or that chapter. And it's just kind of brought God's word alive to me in another way that I've truly loved. So right now, that's where I'm at. I have a ton of other things I could say, and books that I can mention. I've done that here before, so maybe like scroll through some of my older videos and you can find different books that I love and books that I've really enjoyed, for a different season of life. So next question, I was wondering if you believe in busy work for your kids. If my kids get it, I don't make them do extra worksheets. Some days we are done in 1 hour and others we take longer. Depends if it clicks or if they need more explanation and practice. Just want to know what works best for your family. So busy work, yes, we did a lot of busy work when my kids were younger because I needed to keep someone busy so that I could tend to another child. So I hope I'm understanding this correctly, but when homeschooling multiple kids, like sometimes there are just things my kids need to be doing that is just busy work to keep them busy. But I don't look for that anymore. And now, like now that they're older, we don't just do something just to do it and then like keep one busy, you know, coloring or whatever while we move on with the rest, if that makes sense. Like now it's, I homeschool my youngest, we get his stuff done. He goes and does whatever he wants throughout the rest of the day when he's done. My older two know what's asked of them and they do it. Like homeschooling middle school and high school is so much different than homeschooling with littles. When they were little, yes, we did a lot of busy work. Now, if they get it, we move on. That's just the way it is. Except math. Math now in the upper grade levels, I love Denison algebra so much. I talked about it and have and will continue to talk about it probably forever because I love it so much. And there's a process to it. So now, no, I don't want to just rush through it. I want to make sure, even if they get it, I want to just revisit that, right? And let's go back to that again and make sure that we get the beginning process before we continue moving on and revisiting that every now and then. It's not something that I bring in extra for them. It's the curriculum that they do and it works great. But for me, doing busy work, adding in all kinds of busy things, we don't do that anymore because I don't feel the need to do that. Next question, when do you clean or organize your house as a homeschool mom? I find it hard to find time for this besides daily things like dishes and laundry. So that's a hard one because again, you just fit it into life. You just fit it in whenever you can. I don't have a schedule or a routine that I follow. My kids don't have chore charts that each day this is the chore they're doing. It's like, hey, the dishes need done. Everybody jumps in and does dishes. Or hey, laundry needs folded. You fold laundry, you sweep them off the floors, you do the dishes. You know, it just kind of gets dished out as needed. And organizing and stuff, that's usually an after school. If the boys are playing outside, doing something independently for a little bit, I will go tackle some portion of the house. Or before our day gets started doing school stuff while they are eating breakfast, getting ready for the day, there will be times that I will go start doing laundry and dishes and maybe clean out a cabinet or clean the fridge out. Or, you know, I don't have a schedule or a plan as to how that looks or what that looks like. Really, I don't, because we are here living in this home. My kids are here almost all the time. So it's really something that just gets done when the opportunity arises or when I have a moment. And a lot of times, I'm just going to tell you, a lot of times when those cleaning sprees, like spring cleaning, you know, fall decluttering, all of that, a lot of times when those moods strike me, we don't do school that day because I kind of wake up and I feel it. Like I can feel it. So maybe that's something that would be helpful is like for homeschool moms, if you feel that desire to kind of declutter some stuff, maybe that means we're going to take a day off school today and we're just going to dive in and get it done. So it's kind of an energy that I feel building and then it's like everything blows up. So that's kind of how it goes here. I don't have a schedule for that at all. Another question, do you still use the Rowe Casa bar shampoo? And the answer to that is yes, I do. I've been using this shampoo and conditioner from Rowe Casa for about a little over a year now. And it is the bar, I don't wanna take it out because it's gonna be all over my hands, but it is the bar shampoo. Absolutely love these products. And I know there was another question here over on Instagram that what is my favorite Rowe Casa like must-have product? And I would say, I don't have a favorite because I love everything, but the shampoo bar and the conditioner bar, I will not go without. The shampoo bar, I use up so much quicker than the conditioner. So I have probably, this is a fresh conditioner bar. They were sold out of their shampoo bar for probably a month during Christmas time. Ran out and had to borrow some from a friend. And so hard on my hair lately. I don't know if you guys knew this, but I had extensions. I went through a weird spell. I've been struggling with my hair. I'm just going to be real. Struggling with it breaking, falling out. I think I did a lot of damage to it once when I put some blonde in it a couple years back, and I don't know that it's ever really recovered. It was falling out in crazy, crazy, crazy clumps. My hormones at the time were all fine, all the things. During that time, I decided to put in extensions. I'd always wanted thick, luscious, like really full, beautiful hair. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna put extensions in because I can't deal with this. Like, it was really bothering me. Stupid, I know, but it was really bothering me. And yeah, that I think did so much more damage to my hair than just trying to battle what was already going on. And I feel like I'm finally getting to where it's starting to feel healthy. I can see that it's growing back. I am, however, pretty much turning all gray, which is so crazy to me. 37 years old. I've had grays since I was like 20 years old, but it definitely doesn't help that I have dark hair, because then the gray, the silver, whatever shows up so much more. But yes, I still use and still love Rowe Casa shampoo. I love their hair spritz. While we're talking about them, I have their hormone kit that I just got. I have their dry shampoo that I love. I have their magnesium that I use everywhere. I have so many things. Their chapstick, their lip balm is my favorite, tinted pink shimmer, and I love it, love it, love it. It is my absolute favorite. I do not go without this chapstick. Elderberry syrup, antioxidant, tart cherry. What else do I have that I use? I love their cleansing products. Guys, I could go on forever about all the Rowe Casa things. Oh, lymphatic cream. I love their lymphatic cream. Their boo-boo spray. I've got so much. I've got so much stuff, and I love every bit of it. I lave it all. I do have a code, Jamie20, saves you 20% off your Rowe Casa order. If you've never heard of that company before, I encourage you to check them out if you're interested in like all natural beauty, home, health, all the things. They're incredible. They're incredible, incredible company. How do you stay motivated to keep going? How do you make time for yourself in the day? Staying motivated to keep going in homeschooling, motherhood, life, I'm assuming all the things. Truly, I just, there's no other option. Like, we just have to. And I think that's where the taking 30 minutes to take a bath, or going for a walk by yourself, or sitting on your porch reading a book, or staying up 30 minutes late to just kind of have a heart-to-heart with your husband and talk, or the staying motivated to keep going. Yes, there are some days that are so stinking hard, and taking time for myself during the day, I kind of answered that one, but I don't necessarily look for time just for myself. And one struggle too is working, because I work, right? YouTube is a job for me. I share our journey here, and right now I'm able to make time to get this done because my husband took the boys to run an errand really quick so that we can go up to another location and start working on some things. So they're all out for 30 minutes so that I can make time to do this. So it's really just finding those little moments throughout your day, those little opportunities. And it looks different in every season. When my kids were little, oh my goodness. I don't know that it's really changed now, because we used to have nap time. Like, put my kids down for a nap, they would nap, and I could have a few minutes to breathe. It's not that way. There's not really any downtime anymore throughout our day, unless we turn on a movie and sit and have popcorn and just chill on the couch. There really isn't much for downtime anymore. And you know, that's something actually that I really am grateful for. I really do love the busyness of this season. I love, and not the busyness in a bad way, but I mean like kids, older kids, and there's always something going on. But there are always moments where I'm like, you guys, you need to go outside for a minute. Take your energy outside. Get out of the house. Go in the backyard. Go do something. Like, I'm finding with my boys, they need to be kept busy all the time. And that's a whole nother thing, whole nother question. But when there's a lot of downtime, that's when a lot of they get irritated with each other and that type of stuff starts happening. So keeping them busy with chores, or like mentally, right? They love to build Legos and love to build things. And I think that's such a good, positive thing to give our kids, like for their minds to always be working. As moms, we can look around and our job is never done, right? It's never done. I don't have to be doing something outside of my house every single day, and my day is full. Like, my day is full from the minute we wake up, right? We're moms. It doesn't end. There's always something. But for our kids, if we're not leaving the house, to them, sometimes they can feel like, well, what are we doing today? You know, what are we doing? Well, here's what I have to do. What would you like to do to help me accomplish all the things that I need to do in this day? So it's just creating a team environment, I think. Finding time and energy to keep going and the drive to keep going. There's no other option. And I love this life. But that doesn't mean that it is easy all the time or emotionally, that I feel emotionally available, but we show up. How do I stay motivated? God, like, he sustains me to keep going and to keep doing and to keep persevering in life and in homeschooling and child rearing and marriage. It's all God, truly. It's all God. Without him, I don't even know who I would be, where I would be, what I would be doing, what my life would look like, how hopeless I would feel every single day, truly. Next question, how do you survive the hormonal teenage years? Each day starts with a struggle. Any thoughts or advice would be much appreciated, as we are each in each other's space day in and day out, with the exception of my oldest and working hours. 17, 15, and 10-year-old boys. So yeah, we're pretty close to the same as far as ages. So we have almost 16, almost 14, and a couple days away from being 11. So we're pretty much right there, very much in the hormonal phase. And I think a lot of that is what I was talking about in a previous question, where just something for them to do. Even going out and splitting wood, going in the back and taking care of the chickens, giving them something to do. Because again, I find that when we have a slow day or like downtime, some downtime is good, right? Like right after school when they are ready to decompress and go find something to do just to decompress a bit, that's wonderful. But too much downtime, too much time of them not doing something physical seems to be when problems arise. So that's why if I go for a walk or a run, they're on their bicycles and they're going too. Like I find raising boys naturally, they need to be moving and working. They have this desire in them naturally that's instilled in them to work. They want jobs. They want something to do. They want to do something for us and to please us. Like truly, I find that with my boys. They want to do something to please me. And so chickens, taking care of chickens, taking care of the goats, giving them little duties here and there to do, little things to work on, little things to tinker with, like Legos or some of those different STEM kits, or mechanicking, or working on a truck. Like my middle child is so ready to buy a pickup so that he can tinker and work on it. Like they're just wired that way. And so for me, the more I can keep them busy physically and their mind going, the less things seem to be as far as tension goes, like the less tension we see among siblings. But must-haves and favorites with curriculum, homeschool curriculum. Any tips on starting middle school grades? Tips on starting middle school grades. I don't know if I have tips on that. Like we just kind of went through each year and just moved. Like there wasn't any grade except for moving into 9th grade, I think, where I felt like oh my goodness, we're here. Like I just didn't. There's nothing really that changed detrimentally as we moved to middle school. I didn't layer everything on harder. I didn't hype it up in my mind or anything like that. The whole hype of everything came around high school, because it's that daunting high school, like homeschooling high school. How can I do this? What does this look like? Because I was public schooled. So there's a lot that in my mind, like I know what I expected. I know what high school looked like for me. So as a homeschooling mom, trying to carry that load, feeling like I have to replicate that. Favorites and must-haves with curriculum. Denison, algebra, all the way for upper grades. Like seriously, seriously incredible. I plan to start, most likely, my 5th grader. I plan to start him with Denison pre-algebra in 7th grade and then move all the way through. My older 2 boys are already doing Denison. It's incredible. I have nothing but praises to sing over God really just leading us to that curriculum, because I truly believe that's exactly how that started. Some of you sweet mamas mentioned it. I'd never heard of it, ever. Never, ever, ever heard of it. It was not something that was even, I don't even know any homeschool moms who were sharing it. And I had been on the hunt for math stuff for a long time, and this just popped up, and it's been an absolute blessing in our homeschool. Like, thank you, Lord, for that, for everybody behind Denison, because it's truly changed everything in math for us. So that is a must-have favorite for upper grade levels. Wishing that they would have 6th grade for next year, maybe. I mean, one can wish and hope and dream and pray, right? Other favorites, I love the Gather Round homeschool units, unit study homeschool style. That's kind of who we are and what we love doing. It looks different now that my kids are getting older, but that was one of the biggest, most impactful changes we made in our homeschool, was switching to unit study learning. Like, it just was. It was bringing us all together again. I'd gone so far, like, separating us by age group, and then found and discovered Gather Round. And I think it was the first year they came out, and realized family style learning is what we do and love and thrive on. Other than that, there have been so many through the years. We loved All About Reading. I love the Life of Fred books. We have loved, let's see, a couple lessons, like units from The Good and the Beautiful, as far as their unit studies, but mostly Gather Round. We've used a couple from Campfire curriculums, which have been great. I know I'm missing some because it's just not even on the top of my mind. Not Grass History. We've loved Not Grass History. I also loved Master Books in certain seasons. It just totally depends on the season. It really, really, really does. It's whatever our age, like whatever age our kids are. We love teaching textbooks for a long time. Yeah, there's a whole lot there to unpack. Next question, how are you so relaxed about homeschooling? I'm on year 22, 6 kids, ages 26 to 6, 2 done, 4 at home, and I always feel like I never fully accomplish what I plan in a school year, season, monthly, or heck, even sometimes daily. I never, very rarely do I ever feel like we accomplish everything we want to in a day. So know that you're not alone in feeling that way, because there are so many days where I'm like, man, it's already 1 o'clock and my oldest needs to leave and we didn't get to this, or I didn't get to have that. So it's hard. It is really, really, really hard to get to everything that we want to do in a homeschool day. So I've had to set a lot of my like expectations aside and roll with the day and everybody's attitudes for the day and what the day looks like. And I don't mean attitudes as in negative, but I mean like what we're dealing with, right? Day in and day out. There are just changes in life and seasons of life. And then outside commitments like doctor's appointments or different things that can infiltrate your homeschool day that will very easily mess the whole entire day up. And so I allow those interruptions. They're gonna happen. That's just part of it. Just rolling through it. And as far as being, what was the first part of your question? How are you so relaxed about schooling? I will tell you 100% that has been God. Completely, like completely. Go back and look at some of my videos from the very first year sharing our homeschool journey. And that was even after I'd been homeschooling for years. So take that, mama, from the beginning of Simply Living It and compare her to now. We are not the same. We are not the same. And even now, 13 years homeschooling, compared to when I first started, I am not the same homeschooling mom as I was then. I have changed. God has refined me over and over and over again. And I know He has called me to homeschool. And I know this might not answer your question, but it does for me. It answers it in the way that I answer that question. Like my answer to your question is God. My answer to your question is the peace of God that He has given me, being so relaxed because I know He's called me to do this. So I know that He's going to lead me. I know that if I continue to go to Him and to seek Him first, that He will lead my family, that He will equip me to homeschool my children, because that's what He has for us. So trusting Him. And again, go back to the very beginning of my channel and all, and I could not tell you the same words that I wouldn't tell you the same thing I'm telling you now. Like I believe wholeheartedly, without a doubt, this is God's plan for my family, for our life. And He is equipping me. He is filling me with peace that I can't even explain, because it is the peace of God. Like, he is working in me every single day as I continue to go to him, as I continue to surrender our homeschool to him. Like, there's so many things that over and over and over again, it's like, God, help me with this. And I fought and fought and fought and had tears so many days in our homeschool journey, and still on some instances do. But I know this is the right decision for our family. So being relaxed about it at this point somehow now just feels natural, because I don't even second guess it. I don't even think about it. But I think too, for me, that comes with time. For me, that comes with those who I've surrounded myself with. I've seen other mamas, and I have other mamas in my life who were homeschooled, but also other mamas who have homeschooled high schoolers and graduated them. And I've listened to them share their story and their journey, and I've seen the fruit of their labor. And so for me, that gives me peace, because I'll tell you right now, first year homeschooling mom, Jamie, I would not be able to sit and talk to you like I am right now, because I was not the same person. I flat out was not the same person. Not to mention, I was doing that without God. Like, me, right? Like, I was not seeking him. He was not even honestly part of my radar at that point in my life. And so it's truly amazing to see what God has done in me and through this homeschooling journey. I truly believe that he has humbled me in the homeschool area. I believe that he is leading my family, that he is guiding us as we continue to turn it over to him. If I sit and think and freak out and compare my high school experience as a public school kid to my son's experience. Next question. My kids are 2nd through 6th grades. What are your top tips for heading into middle and high school, both school-wise and relationally? Okay, that one's a hard one too, guys, and I think I've kind of answered that a little bit, but I don't really have any top tips. I feel like once you accept and your kids accept, like, this is homeschooling, this is what we're gonna do, and this is expected of me every day. Once you instill that habit in your kids, they come to just know that this is what we're gonna do, and this is school, and this is part of our life. This is what we're doing. Setting those habits in motion and instilling that rhythm and routine, even if it's a slow rhythm and a slow routine, maybe it's strict and scheduled, whatever works for your family and for your children, for your flow of things. My top tips would just be steady on, like, keep on what you've already started. Keep on moving through that. Don't add in a bunch of stuff just because it's 6th grade and now we need to add in 50,000 other things. Don't do that, but just slowly. Start slow in your homeschool journey and slowly build and slowly build and slowly build. Before you know it, you've got quite, a selection of subjects and interests and variety of things that you can add in, and that's homeschooling. So don't just, because they're 6th grade, like, we're slamming on all these electives and you're gonna have 8 periods now where you're doing something different every single period. No, we homeschool so we get to soak up and enjoy and embrace the beauty that homeschooling brings. So that would just be like, steady on what you're already doing. Lean into a little bit more interest-led as they get into the older grades, right? And things are gonna look different. I will have a 6th grader next year. And so for him, I'm not really doing anything different. My expectations of him are not going to change, because my expectations of him have grown as we've grown in our homeschool and as he has grown as an individual. He knows what's expected of him, and we just continue to move through that. And each year we add on another subject or another thing of interest. My expectations as far as his workload, like what's required of him every day, there'll be more added in, but I am going to still expect the same quality of work. I have one more question that I'm going to answer. I know there are so many more, and I'm sorry that I have not gotten to all of them, but I will do a part 2 for you. However, I just want to address this one really quick. It was in regards to Shorman math and Denison algebra, and what is the difference and what sparked me going from Shorman to Denison, because we did start Shorman for my oldest as he moved into 9th grade. And I thought that was it. I thought that was the ticket. Like, that's what we were doing. It was fine. It was all good and dandy. But I needed something for my 7th grader moving into 8th grade. And I knew Shorman was not going to be it for him. I knew that. And so I started looking into different options and different things and came across Denison. I knew that was what I needed to use with my 7th grader moving into 8th grade. And as we received those packages in the mail and I started looking through pre-algebra, I instantly knew that I needed to switch my oldest to that also. There was nothing wrong with Shoreman, but for my oldest, for our scope and sequence of life and all the things, I knew after looking at Denison, I knew that that was going to work so much better for him. I love everything about Denison, and this is not sponsored or anything, by the way. I get nothing from sharing their stuff with you. Homeschooling mom to another, this has changed everything in our homeschool, and I wish I would have known about this sooner. I wish. However, my oldest now going into geometry is using it, and it's been wonderful. And it's very different. It is teacher-led. I'll leave them linked down below in case you want to check them out. The incredible customer service team that can help answer any questions you might have. It is truly a curriculum that is unmatched, in my opinion, in my eyes, in my experience this far in our homeschooling journey. I have found nothing like it. There are so many differences between Shoreman and Denison. The way they are delivered, the way they are graded, the way they are taught, the length of the lessons. So different, like completely different, night and day. Okay. So I can't even compare the two because they are that different. They cannot be compared. So do some research if you're not sure what you're thinking or feeling for your home and for your family. For ours, Denison is it. So as far as comparing the two and, that type of thing, I can't, because my hands are so Denison for every reason under the sun. So anyway, I hope this video was fun for you. Thank you so much for joining me for a Q&A. Thank you for submitting your questions. If you had questions, if I didn't get to yours, please hang tight. I will do my very, very, very best to get to all the questions as I can. I thank you for being here. It was fun to talk about homeschooling and curriculum and stuff again. It's been a little while, but I thank you for being here for all things that we do share on this channel, and I will see you in our next video. Bye.